Was it the voice? Was it the fire burning in me?
I have a quick grocery haul for you, but first I need to start on getting some dinner prepped because it is already really late. We just got home, so I need to get that going so it can go on the grill. So we'll get to the grocery haul right after that. Okay, this is everything you need for the lime margarita chicken that I'm making. I have not made this recipe and I of course cannot follow directions, so it's kind of a variation, but it's supposed to be a very good recipe. So I got this lime margarita mocktail from Aldi, and I've kind of been holding on to it because I have not had time to make this chicken yet. So got that at Aldi. And then you will need cumin, garlic, chili powder. You can also use fresh garlic, or you can do garlic, whatever you want to do. I don't have either one of those, so I'm just using powdered. And then some honey, some fresh limes, and then salt and pepper. So I'm gonna cut the limes, and then we'll juice that in with the margarita juice. And it's gonna create a nice marinade. I am doing just a bunch of chicken legs. This is what I had on hand. And if it feels like I'm rushing, I am. I'm always last minute. We just got home. And I need to put groceries up too. Actually, I'm gonna keep the peels in. I feel like it adds something. You could probably also zest them in if you're wanting. I don't have time today, so I'm not going to. I'm gonna give it a good mix too once I put the lid on. So I'm gonna plop everything in and then I will give it a really good mix. And I think I'm just gonna make some kind of rice or something real simple and easy. I think you only need about 1/4 cup of the honey. Again, I'll stir it in a minute. I'm gonna do, I don't know, a half cup, cup-ish. That was probably a cup. Chili powder. The recipe also says that you can put in some cilantro. However, I have a couple kids that carry that cilantro gene, so I'm not going to put it in mine. I love cilantro, but I have two that do not. They say it tastes like soap. And then just a little bit of cumin. I think you do quite a bit of the garlic and chili powder. You can also put in some cayenne. I'm not going to. So I'm going to give this a good toss once I put the lid on, and then I'm gonna let it sit in the fridge for a little bit before we throw it on the grill. And once I get that in the fridge, we'll do a grocery haul. Okay, so like I said, I have a very quick grocery haul. We did not need very much this week. I mean, we still spent a fortune on groceries, but I think that's just the case for everyone now. But we needed some like filler stuff. We needed snacks, more cleaners, various odds and ends. I got a little bit of some meat. We just filled our freezer with some beef and chicken, so I didn't get very much of that at all. I'm gonna start over here. I found this rug on clearance for $2.50. I don't know if it's gonna fit where I need it to fit. I have never been able to find a rug for my front door, and I'm wondering, because of the shape, that this one might work. They only had this one, which is kind of a beige. It's like a light beige, and then a really, really white. So I got the beige one. Those were the only colors. And like I said, they were on clearance for like $2.50. So if it does not work, then it's fine. I'll move on with my life. But let me show you what I'm talking about. I have never been able, I think it's going to. See how like the steps right here, they go at an angle. So this door actually does not even, it opens, but we never use it. We have it locked. So we only use this one, and I needed a rug for right here. So I'm gonna try that one out. But anyway, that was that. We got a large case of water. And then, oh, look at these, totally unrelated. But look at the shoes I found for Jackson at the thrift store. Adidas, they have like barely any marks. There's like some scuffs on the side, but I think I can get that out with like a magic eraser. But they are barely used, and they were $15. And my kids have big feet. They're like their dad. So anyway, it's kind of hard to find nice shoes for him sometime. And I was able to find those at a thrift store, so that was kind of exciting. For $15 for a pair of Adidas, that's pretty awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna start over here because I need to put all this stuff away. It's cold. Okay, so quickly I'm gonna run through because my camera's about to die and I need to put some stuff away, but I got some sticky tack so I can put up some of my Halloween / fall decor. And I need this for some of the stuff to put along the bricks. Nothing really sticks other than this. So I got some of that. Some of the meat we got Italian sausage. We got a pork roast. So excited. Or not pork roast, sorry, a chuck roast. I'm so excited for a pot roast. So we haven't had it in a while and it just sounded so good. So that's what we're gonna have. And then we got more chicken breasts for a couple different meals. Sour cream, lunch meat, Parmesan cheese, cheddar cheese, butter, a couple things of cream cheese. I'm gonna make a couple different dips. I'm going to do a buffalo chicken dip and what is the other one? A spicy fiesta chicken dip. It's not spicy actually. It's just a fiesta chicken dip. And so I got 2 of those to make those. I'm going to do a breakfast casserole, some sausage. I'm gonna make more breakfast like sandwiches for the freezer. Just a quick, easy thing for my husband or for the kids in the morning. Some half and half. I never buy garlic bread. So, and I actually bought 2 boxes, but I feel like it says something because I think my husband, he saw it on the list and he was like, we're having garlic bread. And so, because I never do it. I always just make it myself. But I'm going to serve that with something. So I can't remember. Maybe just the pot roast. I don't remember. We also are going to be having a lasagna soup. And so maybe we'll have one with that too. Lincoln asked for these, and because I am a cool mom, I got them. He was pretty impressed because they come with rainbow sprinkles. And I don't know if I paid more for these, but we definitely have rainbow sprinkles in our pantry. So it is what it is. Like I said, I'm the cool mom, so just kidding. Anyway, we already had eggs. We have farm fresh eggs, and we have like a couple more dozen in our fridge. So I didn't need eggs this week. Let's go over here. Oh, I'm going to try making my own laundry detergent. I used to do that back when we lived in Illinois for maybe like 2 years. I made my own laundry detergent and I came across a different recipe for it, and it makes a huge tub. Kyle's actually downstairs cleaning out like a big bucket with a lid for me. So I'm going to be making my own laundry detergent again. So I got the super washing soda, the borax, 2 of those, and I got a couple other odds and ends that go to like with the laundry detergent. Anyway, if you're interested in seeing that, let me know and I will record it and put it on here. We got some toothpaste. I started buying this like Equate kind, and Lincoln's really particular about toothpaste. Like he doesn't like the really strong stuff, and he likes this one. So because he can do it, I started buying this. So we got that. I needed more sponges, and these are my favorite sponges. They are a little bit more expensive than like, I don't know, the blue ones or the yellow and green, but I actually cut them in half and they last longer, and I like that size better. So instead of 4, I have 8, and it just works, and they last a really long time for us. So anyway, I got those. I got some candles because I have been going through my candles and I don't really have any fall ones. So I just got some kind of cheap ones to kind of get me through, especially while I am decorating for fall. I'm pretty excited to be able to light some candles. So we got mulled cider and warm apple pie. I am not very good with like a lot of candle scents, but I usually can do like the apple scents. So that's what I got there. Some deodorant. I got Orange Glow. I've been watching some other YouTubers, and they started using Orange Glow, and I was just like, oh man, I miss Orange Glow too. I used to use it and I haven't in a really long time. So that was I was peer pressured into buying the Orange Glow, but it's fine. I got some of this Mr. Clean. I really like using this one. It smells really good and it lasts forever because you hardly need any of it. So I like using this, especially for like the toilet. I like having the toilet brush sit in this with some water, and that way it always is fresh. You know, whenever you're using it in between like deep cleans, this works really well. So I needed more of that. They did not have the usual dish soap that I usually get, so I just got this one. We got you can't even tell, but these are huge. I'm like looking. They're like the biggest bananas I think I've ever seen. And that's basically why I bought them. So we got giant bananas, some potatoes, got some spinach. I'm gonna make a couple different crock pot meals, specifically some soups this week. It is supposed to be cooler. And by that, I mean like high 70s and not high 80s. So, or high 90s, which is where we've been. So it's like basically soup weather. I got some carrots for the soup. We needed some more green onions. I like regrowing them, if you know what I mean. Like you can use them all and then put them in a jar with water, like in a sunny window, and it regrows really quickly. However, you get to like a certain point and they need replaced. So that's kind of the point I'm at. So I got some more of those, some celery for the soups. I have kids and they like all of these things. So we got muffins, honey buns. Theo picked these oatmeal cream pies. If you've watched for a while, you know where these are going. My husband loves those in his lunch. I've been drinking these. I didn't need more because I don't really drink very much of them, but I like getting them because my store kind of runs out sometimes. So got more of those. My husband started drinking these instead of the Alani and what is the other one? I don't know. There's a couple of them. Anyway, he started drinking these because they're significantly cheaper, like $10, $11, $12 cheaper. And he likes these. So we started getting those. They're sugar-free, gluten-free, low-calorie, high in 5B vitamins. Anyway, he likes them. I have not tried them, so I have no idea how they taste, but you know, they're not really for me. Okay. We got some more school supplies, just a couple of notebooks. My daughter requested some mechanical pencils, so we got those, some tape, some chips to go along with the dips that I'm making. So we just kind of have a variety of those. We are going to be doing clam chowder. My kids love homemade clam chowder, and Theo actually asked for it yesterday, which I was shocked because I didn't realize he really liked it. So anyway, we got some clams, the clam juice, and diced potatoes for that. You, of course, can just dice your own, but it's nice to have these on hand sometimes. So anyway, I like just being able to throw it in the pot and forget about it until dinner time. So that's what I'm doing this week. We also got some black beans. I'm gonna make enchiladas. So that is what that is for. These are for like lunches and stuff. I'm going to do corn tortillas for the enchiladas. So we didn't need any though, so I didn't get those. We got some evaporated milk. These are great to use in different soups. So I got a couple of those because I'm gonna be making a couple different soups this week. Bow tie pasta is going to be in the lasagna soup. You're supposed to use lasagna noodles like broken up, but I'm just gonna buy bow tie. I don't know. It's like the same, you know. Some rice. We have been going through vinegar like crazy because my older two are in labs for their science classes, and we homeschool, so it's like, you know, we go through a lot of science activities and everything, and they have been doing all kinds of things with vinegar. So it's like, I feel like every single week I'm buying it. Also, I did just do something with this, with canning, so I needed more anyway. I needed some coffee filters. So I have the Beautiful brand coffee pot. If you have that, let me know if you experience this. But like the filter that is in it still lets like coffee grounds through. So I use these now because I don't know, it grosses me out. Does anybody else have that issue where the Beautiful brand coffee filter is letting, like, you're not supposed to use coffee filters because it has one in the machine, but mine always lets the grounds through, so I don't really trust it. And I don't know if it's just mine or if it's like the whole brand of the coffee pots. Anyway, so I got more of those. I got some brown gravy. I don't know why, just because I like to have it on hand, I guess. This is chicken breast, so I got the canned chicken for something. Oh, the buffalo chicken dip. You can use rotisserie, you can use just chopped up chicken breast, however you want to do it. But the recipe that I follow, they use canned chicken breast, and it's so easy and it comes together like within minutes, so that's why I got that. We use Red Hot usually for the chicken dip, but and we have some in the fridge, and my kids, like, they love trying different hot sauces. So anyway, we got this one. It's supposed to be similar. I'm gonna try it and see if it is. If it is, I'll probably use it. If not, we have Frank's Red Hot already on hand, so I'll just swap it. But anyway, we got this. I've never ever seen Texas Pete hot sauce before, but it looks kind of cute, so we're gonna try it out. We needed some more mayo, so I got that. Marinara sauce for the lasagna soup. I'm considering frying chicken, so I got more oil. Not sure if that will happen or not. We always buy a can or a jar of pickles, and I need to learn how to can pickles. That is like one of the things that I plan on doing here really soon, but I haven't gotten to it, so I bought another jar of pickles. But our family loves pickles, and we go through at least a jar every single week, so it makes sense to learn how to can pickles, in, you know, my opinion. We got some of this chickpea tikka masala, and I'm going to combine it with this sauce, and I'm going to put that into some chopped up chicken breast, so, and then serve it with like rice. I'll probably do some type of curry rice, but my daughter, she loves this kind of stuff. We all really love the tikka masala, but it's like one of her favorites, so do that this week, and that will be a quick easy weeknight dinner too. Anyway, that is, I think, everything. So, like I said, we had a lot on hand. It was just filling in gaps. But yeah, if you are wanting to see any of the recipes being made this week, I will have a list right after this posted in what we plan on having this week. And then if you're wanting to follow along, I will post that stuff probably throughout this week, maybe also next week too, so you can follow along while I make all those recipes. Here are the meals that I have planned for throughout the week. So everything that I bought for, like I said, I did have some stuff on hand, but I was filling in the gaps for these meals in particular. So if you're looking at wanting to see any of those meals, I will have those throughout the week. This is how the chicken turned out. It was really good, but I was rushing and I didn't have a ton of time to marinate it before we threw it on the grill. So I know that it would be even better if I had like all afternoon to marinate it instead of just like an hour or two. So anyway, it did turn out very good though, if you are wondering. So this is the very next day. I am going to be going ahead and taking all of my blankets, pillowcases, and sheets, everything off the bed so I can throw it in the wash. I recently talked about in a recent video about how I rotate all of our bedding. So I generally do about 1 load of laundry each day with our clothes and, you know, random stuff in it. But then I also will rotate through everybody's bedding. So today is our day to do our bedding. I'm going to go ahead and get it started really early so I have all day to get it done. Blankets, especially mine, we have a king size bed and my blanket can kind of take a while to dry. And I like to also be able to hang it outside to dry, so that takes some time. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I am spraying all of our pillows, our mattress. I like to do that every time I take off like the sheets and pillowcases and stuff, just so they kind of stay fresh. And then every 6 months-ish, I will rotate our mattress and everybody's mattress, basically. So I do that every 6 months, but we're going to go ahead and get started on getting the house in order for this coming week. I don't know what it is, but it feels like every weekend just blows by so quickly. And I feel like, okay, so I feel like, I don't know if it is like we live in the middle of nowhere and everything is so far, but the days that I have to go grocery shopping are like an all-day event. And so that's also why you're seeing me do all of the housework and stuff on the very next day, because we spent like all day getting groceries and all that. We have to drive about an hour to, there are local stores, but they're smaller. They don't have everything. And I really will use those when I don't need to get very much. So anyway, we went an hour away and it just took all day. And so by the time we got home, I needed to put away groceries. I needed to figure out dinner and get that going. And I, of course, did not think of that before we left to marinate the chicken ahead of time. So it was just kind of chaotic. And I felt like when I was doing the grocery haul, a lot of times they feel chaotic because I just spent all day out getting groceries, and then here I am and the kids are like, well, what are we having for dinner now? And it's just a lot at once. So I do apologize. I feel like sometimes my grocery hauls are chaotic, and that's because they're chaotic, and I'm just trying to hurry. I want to be able to show you guys, you know, the stuff that I'm getting to make the stuff that I'm showing you each week. And I don't do it very often, but I do try to include them every now and then. And they're chaotic, and I guess that's, you know, that's just where I am right now in my life. It is very chaotic, and someday it won't be, but for right now it is, and that's just where we're at. So anyway, that is why it was the day before. It was just a lot of running around, and now I am it's really nice to wake up and just not have to rush to do things. So I was really looking forward to actually cleaning the house this day. And if you're wondering where everybody else is, so I was actually not having to like leave people out of the camera. If you have been here a while, you know that I have teenagers. They don't always want to be on camera. And so I do my best to avoid them in shots and stuff like that. However, this day, every single one of them, except my younger two boys, I guess, they were at a friend's house. But the two teens and my husband, they were downstairs working on painting my son's ceiling. He has a pretty big size room downstairs, and a couple months back, I don't know if you remember, but do you remember we had like a flooding issue, and it turned out to be the stupidest thing. It was, we didn't know at first, but we did not know, but Theo basically flooded our upstairs toilet, and we were like, oh my gosh, a pipe burst. It was flooding downstairs, and we thought it was this major ordeal because we had no idea that Theo had been in the bathroom that he was in. He doesn't usually use that bathroom. He uses his. And so we were just like in a panic this day, and me and my son were like trying to turn off the water and everything because my husband wasn't home, and he came home, and like I said, we thought it was a major break. And so we ended up tearing down part of the ceiling, and it was just this huge ordeal. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was like a couple months back. Anyway, so because of all that, we're just now starting to deal with it and patch his ceiling and paint it and stuff again. So anyway, they were all down there doing that, and it was nice because that allowed me the entire upstairs to just leisurely clean, listen to my music, listen to my podcasts, and it was so nice to be able to do that. So anyway, I am using, if you just saw, I started using the Easy Off oven spray on my stove. These glass top stoves can be really difficult, especially if you've like boiled over water. So we have harder water, and when it does boil over, it does cause issues, or really if there's any boil over of anything. So, and I have teens, and they do tend to spill. They cook and stuff, which is great, but they can be a little bit messier and not pay as much attention. So I noticed that our stove needed a little bit more scrubbing than just the usual wipe down with the usual spray. So I did leave that on for about 10-15 minutes, and then I kind of went about and was cleaning other things, doing other things in the kitchen, just letting it really sit and do its thing, and then I'll come back to it. And I like to use more of an abrasive brush or a sponge to scrub it at first. So that is what I'm doing here. One of those, I don't even know what they are, those really thin like abrasive sponges. I don't know why I can't say sponge tonight. Anyway, so that's what I'm using at first, and I'm kind of just scrubbing the problem areas, and then I'm going to go through and wipe it after. So I do wipe it a couple times, but I feel like it really helps, that Easy Off. I feel like it really does really well on these glass stovetops. So I have started using that, and it works really well. Probably better than any other product I've really tried. I've used that pink stuff, and I don't know if that's actually, recommended or whatever for these glass top stoves, but I feel like it just leaves so many streaks. I like it in certain things, like I like to use it in our kitchen sink and stuff, but I've seen people use it on the stove, and I don't know, it just leaves more of a mess, I feel like, to pick up, so I don't love using it on the stove. However, the Easy Off oven cleaner works very well.
Crowded places, feel it sinking in. Lonely faces, say you need a friend. You've been lost and alone in the city of lights. Getting high, feeling low, and it's out of your control. You should know that I won't leave you. I'll stay beside you. I'll never.
So my husband and I, we were recently just talking about how to save and stuff like that on certain bills. And this just cracks me up because so we have a pool, we have a garden, so naturally during the summertime, you know, our water bill is just more expensive. It is what it is. That's how it is when you have those things. So one of the I'm just laughing because this was my way of like contributing to saving on our water bill, and maybe it helps, but I don't know really, because I'm gonna be running the dishwasher after this, and I only did this like twice, and then I'm like, I don't even know if it's doing anything. So I'm just like laughing at myself. But anyway, that was why I filled this sink with soapy water, and then I was kind of letting this stuff kind of marinate in that before I put it in the dishwasher. So anyway, I was just cracking up at myself for that. But also, if this could be your reminder, I guess, I recently just cleaned out the filter in our dishwasher. We got this, when did we get this dishwasher? It's been like, what, 6 months, something like that. We got this dishwasher, and it is really, really nice. However, I did not know this with previous dishwashers. This was kind of, I don't know, I think when I got this one right before that, I realized you're supposed to be cleaning out the filters in your dishwasher. So mine's at the bottom. I think that's where most of them are. That's where it was in our last one. And it is incredible, the stuff that is in your filters in your dishwasher. We have two, and they're very easy just to pull out and rinse off with some soapy water. So if you did not know that, like I did a while ago, it's life-changing. And so like if you notice like your dishwasher is not running as well as it should be, it's probably time to rinse out your filter. So that I did recently do that too, and it helped tremendously. My teenagers, they help with the dishes. That is one of their chores. So they often will, if they, they're teenagers, so they will not rinse something off. And I know that that's like a controversial thing. It's like the whole washing of chicken thing, but some people rinse off their dishes and some people don't. And we are in the household that we do rinse off our dishes for the most part, because I think of the dishwasher more of like a sanitizing thing. However, I grew up in a household that does not rinse off the dishes, so and it was fine both ways, and I don't know why I ended up changing that, but I don't know. So anyway, I do know that it is a divide. However, we rinse off ours, and my kids, they sometimes do, and then sometimes they don't. And I noticed that whenever I was cleaning the filter, it kind of gunked up. So it definitely needed changed, and you can kind of tell whenever it was not doing as well cleaning the dishes. So I talked in a recent video about how whenever I'm cleaning, I like to go from one room to the next, but I kind of pretty much entirely clean that entire room before I go on to the next one. I do that with everything: mopping, sweeping, vacuuming, wiping everything down. Is that a thing that everybody does? Because I feel like I know a couple people and they kind of bounce around depending on the task that they're doing. So, and I thought that was kind of interesting, but my mind does not work like that. And I feel like it's just more because my mind's a little bit more chaotic. And so I feel like in order to stay on task, I have to stay like per room to get it completely done. So I can't bounce around like that. Otherwise, I would not get anything done, I don't think. I think my brain is just way too chaotic for that. But I'm curious, do you bounce around and like kind of do like all the dusting in the house, or do you do one room at a time and completely do that one room before you move on? I'm very curious to hear how other people do it. Are you chaotic like me, or you can't finish a task unless you just, stay in that one room and get everything done, or can you bounce around? One thing I have been doing recently is over the weekend, I have been doing one bigger deep clean. So kind of like a Sunday reset. So it's basically this. I like to do a Sunday reset. It not necessarily on Sunday, but just one of the days over the weekend. I like to really reset the house and get it nice and clean and organized for the week ahead. And not necessarily like a super deep clean, but just, really clean. So I can feel a lot better moving forward throughout the week. So I like to wipe everything down and dust, vacuum, mop the floors, get everything nice and put in place. The bathroom's clean, everything just, like starting off fresh on the right foot. And then throughout the week, I don't do that. I just do like smaller little cleans and just tidy ups. Or like power hours. I do stuff like that where I'm kind of like setting a timer or a timer in my head basically, and I'm like, I'm just going to do as much as I can in this amount of time frame, or I have this amount of time before I need to get to this, so I'm going to spend that just doing whatever I can, and then whatever I finish in that time frame, great. Anything else can just wait. So I've been doing that, and it actually is working out really well. And that kind of led me to think about this list that I used to have. It was like a daily cleaning list. I had it probably 15 years ago, and I even laminated it to where I could cross it off with dry erase markers. But that list I've held on to for so long because it was always something that really worked out for me. When I had little itty bitty tiny kids and I was having to do everything and I just felt really overwhelmed. I struggle with anxiety and depression, and so having that kind of stuff, it made me feel a lot better. It made me feel like, I didn't have just this insane list every single day. It kind of broke things down for me and made things very simple. So I am considering bringing back that list and starting to do it throughout the week. Like I said, it is a daily cleaning list. So like, for an example, I don't quite remember exactly what it was, but like, for example, let's just say Tuesday, every Tuesday you clean the bathrooms. So you go everywhere and clean all the bathrooms. Or it might even break it down even more to where like you wipe down all the bathrooms, but then like on one of the days you do all the tubs and showers. So it's like a different day that you're doing that. But anyway, it breaks it down to smaller amounts per day. And then it also allows for rest days too. And I'm like, what? That would probably be a really good idea to bring back during the week, because I like doing the whole larger reset on the weekends. I feel like it really just sets me off really well through the next week. But you have those tasks throughout the week, otherwise it really builds up. And I know some people, they just let it build up. I'm not one of those people. I can't let it get out of hand because then it just really affects myself, my mental health. So I try to stay on top of things. However, when you're looking at a list that has smaller things, like I want to say it was like, small appliances is what you clean on like Mondays, for instance. And so then that's all you have to worry about on Monday is cleaning the smaller appliances, or on Tuesday, cleaning the bathrooms. And then after that, you really don't have to worry about it. And from what I remember, it was always clean. It always stayed manageable, and I loved that about that list. So anyway, I have been thinking about, sharing these larger Sunday resets with you guys, and then also sharing my cleaning routine throughout the week if I'm following that schedule. It was very beneficial for me, and so I feel like, I could share that with you guys if you're interested in seeing it, because it might help other people. When I had little tiny kids running around, and I'm referring to my now teenagers. I mean, I still have, Theo, he is my youngest. He just turned 6. So, I know what it's like still to, have younger kids, but now they're at the point where like they can clean up by themselves and stuff like that. But I know how it is when you have little itty bitty kids and it just doesn't seem manageable sometimes. These daily cleaning lists, they really do help you feel more relief with that. So anyway, I'm thinking about sharing that along with, my normal cooking videos and stuff like that. I just really enjoy sharing with you guys every week. It it's like I get to just hang out with my friends for a little while and talk to you guys. I absolutely enjoy it. So if it is something that you think will help you, I am excited to share it. I had to switch over the laundry because I didn't want it sitting there since I'm doing my sheets. They're in the dryer now, and so anyway, I brought the basket out, and I am not forgetting about it. I brought it out, put it on the couch, so I am forced to fold it and put it away, and that is something that I have been able to stay on top of in the last months-ish. I don't know really how long, because before, if you have been here for a while, I had laundry mountains that I was dealing with, and now I don't, so that is so nice. It is so nice because I hate laundry. I hate laundry and I hate doing the floors, so it is really nice when you don't have laundry mountains to deal with. But maybe that's what I was doing. I don't know. I was sitting here like, why am I mopping? Because I tend to mop and then I mop myself into like the rug area in the living room. So I'm mopping myself into there and forcing myself to deal with the laundry. So that's what I'm doing there. And if you see me switching back and forth between my normal vacuum and my corded, I've had this one. I don't know. I don't love corded vacuums. However, it works so much better to kind of do a deeper vacuum on my rugs. So that is what I'm doing. We have dogs and cats and kids, and having rugs, you just constantly need a vacuum. So throughout the week, I usually will use my cordless vacuum on the rug, and that works just fine. However, on the weekends or if something spills or something, I like to bring out my corded vacuum just to do a deeper vacuum. And I have this totally sped up, but I like to go a lot slower. I like to go in different directions, making sure that I get everything out. If you have pets, you know what I mean. That pet hair sticks in the carpet and it can be so tough to get out. So going different directions and then also going slower when you vacuum really helps. So that is what I'm doing here. Really quickly though, before this video ends, I'm so excited. I know I've talked your ear off about everything, but also about putting up my fall and Halloween stuff. And I'm so excited to say that I think it's going to be my Wednesday video this week is going to be my Halloween and fall decorate. I'm so excited. It is nothing huge. I don't go all out, but I love fall and my kids are so excited. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm going to be sharing that here, I believe in my Wednesday video. I know that this past week has been different days. I posted on different days than I usually do, and I was going to be posting on Friday, but it's just things have been crazy, and I'm trying to not worry so much about it. I'm like, you know what, I'll post it when it's available, and I'm not going to stress about it. So that is something that I'm trying to stick with, and it's helping a lot because it can be quite the task to make the video. Well, actually making the videos is like the easiest part, but then editing and voiceovers, it takes so much, and then having to upload it is a lot of work, a lot of effort. And so when you're homeschooling, you have kids running around and everything, it can be difficult to stay on that routine. And I do try very hard to, but I'm trying not to worry myself so much about it. So if it does not go up on that exact day, I am not going to worry about it. I will just put it up when I have the availability to do that. And I really appreciate everybody that watches and comments, and I just love it. Like I said, I love posting because it's like I get to hang out with my friends for a little bit, and I just absolutely love that. I love talking to you guys, and I love that you guys talk to me in the comments. I really appreciate that. But anyway, I am going to zoom through this laundry, get it all done and taken care of, but that is all I have for you today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I will probably see you a couple more times extra this coming week, and I cannot wait to spend that time with you. But I will see you in the next one. Bye.
faces say you need a friend. No matter the distance, I will always be there. No more inhibition, I'll show you again. You've been lost